Hello. The purpose of today's video is to show you how we can create professional standard e-learning in just minutes using OpenELMS AI. Now, artificial intelligence allows us to produce really great e-learning. But of course, when we're producing these edited videos, you may think we're doing some trickery in order to do this. So what we're going to do is have a completely unedited video to show you the process. So if I just go to my screen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use ChatGPT to select a topic. Now, I'm choosing a random topic from world history. So it could be anywhere in the world, any location. Now, it always seems to produce the Silk Road. Try it yourself. It always produces the Silk Road. There was a Chinese bias there, but I'm just going to do another one because I know if you put this into your search engine, you'll get the Silk Road through too. So here we have the May restoration. No idea what that is. I'm going to put that in there. And we're going to give it it's the social revolution in Japan. Interesting. I'd be interested to learn about this. And we are going to press the generate button. So that's our topic. It's now producing us apologies if I pronounce this wrong, an e-learning course on the Meiji restoration. The generation is in progress. It'll take about 5 minutes. So usually what we'd do is we'd go away and it would send us an email when it's ready, and we would go and do the course. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some elements of the whole process once the e-learning has been created. So how we can edit it and how we can customize it after the creation process is complete. So usually we would have, as I say, we would have produced the e-learning first and then edit it. But what I'm going to do is we're going to edit something that we produced, but we've done already. So let's have a look at this one here. As you can see, the modern Silk Road, it always comes up. I don't know why that is, but we'll edit this one. Of course, we did earlier, which I think we've edited already, and we can have a look at how the editing process is going.
Welcome to the e-learning.
What we've got here is we've got a presenter that comes on, and whatever language you've chosen.
So if you can return to it at any time by using the menu below.
We'll just quiet him down. If you've got a document or a prompt in Japanese, it will produce a Japanese course for you, etc. So the voiceover and the presenter will adapt to whatever language you're using. Here we've got our learning goals, and we have information on each of the learning goals. So basically it takes each topic and it gives you the right amount of information. Because we're choosing the option to generate the course using letting AI decide on the length of the course, basically what it does is it expands each topic as much as it wants to, as much as it needs to. It uses the same design heuristics that we have been using as a company for the last 22 years. So we've trained it in how to design e-learning. And those same design heuristics, as I say, are used in the program that produces the course for you. Now, if I just go through the course, you can see here we've got the introduction to the modern Silk Road. And now if we want to change anything in the system, it's just a matter of double-clicking and editing. So if we wanted to change the text, we can double-click and we can type whatever we want to into there, and that text is then put into the system, and we can increase the size of the text box if we wanted to. For whatever we're selecting, so say here we're selecting this description, we can move it around. We can change the black background color if we wanted to. We can change the text color. I would say we can change the look and feel, the font, and all these sort of things to give it a different perspective. Other things we can do, if we just going to put this to the side here, we can add animation to the system. So what the system will do is it will add animation for you automatically, but it won't always do, or won't always be appropriate for what you want to see. Or you may want to have this sort of a bit more of a immersive feel to it. So what you can do is you can put some birds flying there, so they basically just come out in the background, and we can add some sun. And all these animations come with the system. So, I mean, we've been, as I say, going for quite some time and producing e-learning for, some of the top companies in the world. And so basically whatever I loaded in by mistake, new animation. So what we'll do is we'll just add another animation, then we'll put the birds back in. So yeah, I mean, the point is we've been producing e-learning now for over 20 years for some of the top organizations in the world, both in the UK and in North America. And all the asset resources that we've been using, we've been adding to the system. So you're not just getting OpenELMS, an AI generation system, but you're getting all this added extra. For now, if we just go to preview mode, you can see we've got a nice scene here with some birds flying, the sun shining, and we've got the introduction to the modern Silk Road. So you can take what we give you and you can give that extra level of customization to it. What we've also got is you're not constrained to anything in the system. So if you wanted to edit this and upload your own picture, or if you wanted to generate a new image using AI, you can type in the description of the image and you can generate a new image as well. So if it doesn't get it right first time, occasionally you will see an image with a bit of maybe someone's got an arm in the wrong place. That happens. What we do is we edit it. So once images are generated in the library, we will edit them and we will remove those images. But sometimes when you're generating images fresh, you will get, it's very rare. It's about 3-4% of images would have some sort of error in them. But you can always generate new images using the system as well. So whereas in the old days, you'd have to go to an image library or create your images, now you can just press a button and the image will be created for you automatically. Here we've got show you some other stuff you can do. You can add interactivity. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a button. Now this is a button, and this button can do anything. So here we're on screen 2. If we wanted this button to go to screen 3, so say it was like you learn some more information about another area of the Silk Road, we can have that going to screen 3. And if we go to preview mode, you can see that by pressing that button, it goes to screen 3. So you can have pathways going through the learning. You can have hotspots, all the sorts of stuff that you would have as a standard interaction elements you can have using the system. Other stuff you can do, you can add in, let's just say we wanted to create this into a, just get rid of the button for a second, and we wanted this to be some sort of question. We can have a true or false option there, and depending on what the person's selecting, we can define what the feedback is, whether they're correct or incorrect, and we can have interactivity in the system as well. So you can have interactivity with buttons, pathways, hotspots, but you can also add questions as well and have feedback on those questions. So you can have knowledge checks and elements like that within inside the e-learning once it's created. So although it's a sequential process it produces for you, you can then add the interactivity once it's been produced. But having said that, you don't have to. The course it will produce will be professional standard. It will be great. It will be really good stuff. And that's the beauty of artificial intelligence. What we can do is we can start developing learning for a lot more stuff. So whereas before we would have very generic corporate courses or very generic learning courses, now you can, like a business can train a department of 2 or 3 people on a specific skill, or just by uploading a process document. That's all they need to do, and you've got e-learning for them. Or if it's an educational context, say you had little Jimmy has his report, and you found out he was failing on X, Y, and Z in his geography class. You could basically just input that report and say instructions, say teach little Jimmy about these things that he doesn't know, and there'd be a customized report, a customized e-learning program for little Jimmy. So you can take this however and to whatever extent you want to. We're trying to put this into Africa to offer low or no cost learning on the continent. So whereas areas they would have trouble having access to textbooks, now you can basically just dial up on your phone, and all this stuff will immediately go to our app, or accessible in a web browser on a mobile phone as well, because it's all optimized for mobile. So it's a very good way of democratizing learning and getting learning out there, and producing a lot more learning. So learning departments will be producing a lot more content with this technology. Okay, other stuff you can do. If we just go to settings, you can change the logo. You can change the narrator. So if I just turn the narration on, and I can, and I'll show you. At the moment, we've got this narrator.
The geopolitical implications of the modern Silk Road
and if we were to change
as it reshapes power
text,
dynamics and influences international relations.
But what we can
the
do
initiative
is we can
has sparked debates
so
over sovereignty, influence, and strategic interests among participating countries.
Select that narrator, and it will generate a new narration for us. So it's just doing that at the moment. Just refresh the screen. We'll try again. So it's basically just it's creating the new narration for this. It takes a little while to do, but eventually it'll come up and it'll be an Afro-American voice or a woman's or whatever. So we've got various different narrations in there for you.
The geopolitical implications of the modern Silk Road are profound as it reshapes power dynamics and influences international relations. The initiative has sparked debates over sovereignty, influence, and strategic interests.
So it will refresh the whole e-learning with whatever voice you've selected. Other stuff you can do. Let's just say we want to add a new screen. So what I'm going to click on new screen, and I'm going to enter. Now we've got lots of templates. As I said before, OpenELMS AI is the product of 20 years of work. This is not just an AI bandwagon product. So basically all our development, all our templates have gone in there. So you've got hundreds of templates in the system, but you can choose a template such as this. And there's plenty of other templates you can use. It's not just ones like this for having video, but what you can do is we can add in a new video. So let's add in a new video. Plain, have this one. And we can then take that video and we can enlarge it. And we can put it in that holder. And so what we're trying to do is when we created this system is we wanted to create something where we could put green screen characters in. We wanted to put different scenes. So it's a very immersive learning experience. It's not just text, video element, picture, bam, 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 like a web page. This is an immersive learning experience. So what we've got here, if we just go back to preview mode, you can see you've got a page and you're inside a plane now. So you can take people through various different journeys. And if you press next here, you may want to change this, you may want something else. So what you can do is just go back to the edit mode. We'll just load in a new background. We'll select a screen again, just to show you how we can change the elements. And let's take a screen that's square onto us. We'll take this one here. Take a very little screen in a studio, and then we can have another screen here. Whatever this is. And you can see now we've got a studio breaking live, and that video is in the studio. So you can put your video content in a very contextually correct way. So it makes it look as if people are going through a journey and seeing different elements in different areas. But they can also open up and pop it up and look at it as well. Other things you can do. So let's just take the studio for an example. So we got our little video there. In the thing in the background. What we can do is we can add in various things. So let's just add in, we'll add in a cat. Add in a cat going across. So here's our cat, and we'll put him in the foreground like so. So he walks on. We can add a narrator. So we have narrators that say various things, and we can insert this guy in here. Again, we can play around with depth. We can play around with size. So we'll put him in. We'll put him like there. So he's coming into there. We could add some more animation in there. We could add. Let's just say I don't know, some sort of process image. Okay. So he could be talking about some sort of process. So we'll put in some sort of process there as well to aid the whole learning design thing. And then what we can do is we can change when these things come on. So we'll say that this man comes on immediately. The cat then comes on 2 seconds later. And then when the text comes around to speaking about it, this will come on 4 seconds later. So you can play around with depth, you can play around with time, you can play around with all sorts of stuff to get it exactly as you want. So if we now refresh this screen and we go to the next one, you can see we very quickly developed something that the cat then comes on later. Then after that, the process diagram. So you're playing around with time, and you're playing around with space and depth and all these sort of things, just to add more immersion to the end experience. So whatever the AI produces is fantastic. It's great, but you can do so much more with it if you wanted to as well. And if you've got any questions when using the system, there's an AI assistant here. So basically you can ask any questions and it will tell you exactly how to use it with links to videos on how to use the system. So it's a great system. It doesn't hold you back. You can really do whatever you want to with using OpenELMS AI. So if I just close this, we'll just see if it's ready. Okay, so what we're doing now with the Meiji restoration is we're generating audio. So it's getting to the end of the process. Other stuff you can do, just incidentally, we've got a course that's translated into, I assume that's Mandarin. I don't know. But you can create courses in any language. So as I say, when you put the prompt in, it will respond with a language in that prompt with voiceover and presenters and stuff like that. Other stuff you can do. So once we created our course, how do we get it out there? How do we get it out there to the learners? We can do it in a number of different ways. We can share it. So we can share it via just a URL link. So you copy that, and that's then shared. You can embed it on a website. You can embed it in Articulate or Captivate. That's other e-learning programs. So you can make that part of those other e-learning programs. You can download it as a SCORM file and put it on any learning management system. So SCORM 1.2 or 2004, you can do that. And you can translate it into a different language if you want to, so that you can basically press that button and it will translate it into a different language. But here's the proof of the pudding. Here's the Meiji restoration. So if we just go to that, we'll just have a look at that course. And now normally you would get a video, an email. An email would say, look, this course is ready. But here we have the course.
Hello and welcome.
And you can see there's no...
Read the following message and then press the button.
There's no change done to it.
Introduction to the Meiji restoration. One of the primary goals of the Meiji
leaders. These are the Meiji leaders.
The Meiji restoration was not just a political... The changes initiated during the fall of the... Internally, the Tokugawa shogun... Externally,
I'm afraid my knowledge of Japanese history,
particularly the United States,
is
posed a direct
very
challenge
limited.
To Japan's isolationist. The signing of unequal treaties with Western nations.
Fine to me.
Amidst this turmoil, factions within Japan began to advocate restoration of imperial
rule.
The restoration under Emperor Meiji's leadership.
And it goes on.
Political reforms and modernization.
Now, obviously, you'll get the occasional thing which would be considered incorrect.
One of the key aspects of the Meiji.
What you can do is you can go.
The Meiji leaders
change
the Meiji restoration also had significant economic.
But yeah, I mean, see, the beauty of this, if I just turn off the audio, is what it's done is it's taken a subject in a different time and a different place. There's no way we could have prepared for this in advance. And it's created brand new content based upon that content, which produces for you something akin to a brand new bit of learning. And at the end of it, it's got a quiz. So if we were to get to the end of it, I'll just show you the editing. So if we go and edit it, there'll be a quiz at the end, and you can do various things with that quiz. So you can set the pass mark. You can have a different types of quiz and stuff like that. But essentially, what it does is it gives you a quiz which you can go through, and you can answer, and that will be recorded in your learning management system. So whether you're getting stuff right or wrong, it will record it, and then you've got a summary at the end, and that's your course. So that's really the process of producing e-learning using OpenELMS AI. It will allow you to do so much more in your organization. Get process documents, procedures, reports, history books, whatever it is, you can turn that instantly into very, very good, powerful e-learning. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this. You can use the system absolutely free of charge, 14 days. Go to openelms.ai and you can sign on there and use the system. And then, We'd love to hear your feedback and your comments. But thank you very much for listening. Take care.